That's what I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your head between the collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no way at all. I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. 'Cause if I say I miss you, I know that you won't. But I miss you in the morning when I see the sun. Something in the orange tells me we're not done.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all sincerely for being here today. As Deputy Mayor of Derry City and Strabane District Council, I want to extend a heartfelt welcome to everybody in attendance. We gather today with a shared purpose to end violence against women and girls. Northern Ireland remains the most dangerous place in these islands for a woman to live in. A reality that we cannot ignore and must work together to change. This is not an issue for one sector or one moment. It must be part of our everyday lives, our conversations, and mostly our actions. I want to acknowledge the relatives of Amy Doherty, who are with us today. Amy's loss has deeply affected this community. While this remains a live case and we speak with care, we also stand firmly with her family in their call for Jade's law equivalent here in Northern Ireland. Since its launch in April 2026, this campaign, driven by the dedication of Edwin Duncan, has highlighted how far behind Northern Ireland is now. England, Wales and the Republic of Ireland have all moved forward with protections based on the framework Edwin developed. We cannot allow Northern Ireland to remain the only place without equivalent safeguards. The public clearly agrees. The petition launched just days ago has already reached over 12,000 signatures, surpassing in proportion the entire UK-wide campaign of 2022. That level of support shows the urgency and the unity behind this cause. Today, let us commit to real change. Let us stand with families, with survivors, and with every woman and girl who deserves to live free from fear. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. My name is Holly Reid and I work at Foyle Women's Information Network and I'm the Ending Violence Against Women and Girls Project Officer here in the city. I have the absolute honour of working across the women's sector in our district to help us bring awareness and understanding to an issue that affects each and every one of us in our day-to-day lives. The Executive Office had conducted a survey that determined that 98% of women in Northern Ireland over the age of 18 has experienced some form of violence or abuse in her lifetime. That number is so high. If you look to your left or your right, that means more than likely that woman standing beside you has experienced some form of violence or abuse. And then not to ignore the under 18s, women aged 12 to 17, 73% of them have said they've experienced some form of violence and abuse. It's become a norm and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the case. And it takes us as a society to work together to call out these inappropriate behaviours that is encouraging and reinforcing this gender-based violence that's occurring. Because if we can work on the ground level, from our communities and in our schools and in our local families, we can help bring it up, and then we can work from the top down, where we're bringing in changes to the judicial system, within our government, and just across the whole of Northern Ireland to make it safer for each and every one of us. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out today and helping to recognise the importance of Jade's Law and what that means for families affected by such awful, awful instances, so that we can help the victims really get the support that they truly, truly need.
Hello, I'm Angela, Amy's auntie. My family never imagined that one day we'd stand before people to speak about murder, grief, and the lifelong pain that follows the loss of someone we love. Like so many other families, our lives were changed forever by violence. The person we lost was more than a headline. They were a parent, a daughter, a friend, someone deeply loved. When a family loses someone to murder, the pain does not end after the funeral. It continues every day. Jade's Law sends a clear message that anyone responsible for the murder of a child's parent should not benefit from parental rights as if nothing happened. Children should never have to live with fear, confusion about the rights of someone who has taken away one of their parents. Jade's Law helps provide safeguards for vulnerable children, gives families some peace of mind when it feels like everything's completely shattered. This law acknowledges voices of victims' families. It is about making sure children's welfare always comes first. Thank you everybody for your continued support.
Thank you for joining us for this peaceful gathering. Before I continue, I would like to thank the Mayor and his staff for permitting us to gather here outside this historic building for peaceful reflection and acknowledgement of the many victims of domestic violence, not only here in Northern Ireland, but across the whole island of Ireland and across the United Kingdom. Nearly 5 years ago, on a warm August night in North Wales, Jade Ward, just 27 years old, a mother of 4 boys, was brutally murdered by her husband. I will not mention his name as it is not worthy of mention. Jade was murdered by someone who claimed to love her, claimed to cherish her, and ultimately care for her. Now, his actions did not demonstrate in any sense those things. Jade was a lovely person, both inside and out. She truly loved everyone around her. She loved animals, especially elephants, but she was fond of even a fly, and many noted that she would go absolutely crazy if anyone even so much as swatted one in her presence. She was always eager to talk with everyone. I knew her as a lovely person, and whenever we came into contact, she gave me time. We laughed and we joked and we spoke about things that were happening around us. I'd always felt happier after meeting, which would happen at the most inopportune moments, be it crossing paths in the street or in the local supermarket. It was always a pleasure to have spoken with her. To be in her company, or even for a fleeting moment, it was a privilege. In the months after her murder and during the trial, her then accused killer, and even after her killer had been found guilty, this individual had continued to frustrate those left to look after Jade's children by demanding reports on, for instance, who was looking after them, where they were being schooled, refusing to sign passport applications, medical treatment and other ancillary elements. Even before the family approached me to embark on what was known to be Jade's law, I was already researching ways to prevent Jade's murderer from, shall we say, frustrating things from his prison cell. I'm not going to detail everything that happened throughout the next 18 months, but it concluded with the inclusion of Jade's law sitting within the Victims and Prisoners Act of 2024, which would see my initial framework and suggestions to automatically suspend parental responsibility from those who murdered their partner placed into a legal framework. Now we come to why we are here today. About 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was contacted by a few people here in Derry who were asking a very important question. That question was, why didn't people in Northern Ireland have the same protections which Jade's law provides in England and Wales? Now this was a complete surprise to me, because during the initial campaign, which was a national campaign, UK-wide, I was under the impression that the law extended throughout the UK, which does include Northern Ireland. Due to devolved governance, I was dismayed to find that the protections I thought were throughout the UK were not as I thought. After a few phone calls and many emails, I knew that we had to start a campaign to rectify this gap in legislation. With the help of many here in Derry, we formed what is now the campaign for a Jade's Law equivalent in Northern Ireland. Since the launch, which was held here on the 16th of April, the campaign has gone from strength to strength. It's got approximately 13,000 signatures, which proportionally exceeds our national petition in the UK-wide petition additionally. I have been encouraged over the past few weeks by the overall support from MLAs from across the political spectrum who have given support to this campaign, and I was especially moved by the fact that the First Minister, Michelle O'Neill, made a statement on social media giving her support. I must say at this juncture, I sincerely do not feel that this was in any way a political statement on her part. I think it was a genuine statement on behalf of her commitment to women's rights. Now we come to the meeting, the meeting we had as a group in the last couple of weeks. I can now officially say to you all today that a Jade's Law equivalent will be introduced in Northern Ireland legislation as soon as next year. There is cross-party support, and I must say to you all here today that the suggestions are that it will surpass the existing legislation that exists in England and Wales. Jade was 27 years old when she was taken from us in August of 2021. It was an absolutely abhorrent event. Such an incident, one would think, is unusual. Unfortunately, it is not. In the 5 years since her death in Northern Ireland alone, 30 women have been killed with similar circumstances surrounding them. Now we remember them by naming them here today. We remember them by naming them here today. Elizabeth Dobbin, 82 years old, 30th of March 2020. Natasha Melendez, aged 32, died the 1st of April 2020. Emma Jane McParland, aged 39, died 22nd of April 2020. Patricia Weirbeck, aged 20, died 2nd of August 2020. Katie Simpson, aged 21, died 9th of August 2020. Susan Baird, age 60, died 16th of August 2020. Karen McLean, age 50, died 19th of March 2021. Stacey Nell, age 30, died 19th of March 2021. Ludmila Polatova, age 61, died 20th of April 2021. Katie Brankin, age 37, died the 12th of July 2021. Katrina Rainey, age 53, died 12th of October 2021. Kiva Morgan, age 30, died 18th of December 2021. Alison Nelson, age 64, died 16th of April 2022. Margaret Una Noon, age 77, died 17th of June 2022. Holly Thompson, age 28, died the 11th of September 2022. Natalie McNally, age 32, died the 18th of December 2022. Elisa Nazarova, age 37, died 21st of March 2023. Chloe Mitchell, age 21, remains found on the 11th of June 2023. Kat Parton, age 34, body found on the 9th of May 2024. Patsy Oust, aged 81, died 2nd of June 2024. Sophie Watson, aged 57, died 18th of August 2024. Montserrat Elias, aged 66, died 24th of August 2024. Rachel Simpson, aged 43, died 13th of September 2024. Mary Ward, aged 22, body found 1st of October 2024. Karen Cummings, aged 40, died 14th of December 2024. Mary Green, aged 71, died 3rd of June 2025. Sarah Montgomery, aged 27, died the 28th of June 2025. Vanessa White, aged 45, died 23rd of July 2025. Ellie Flanagan, aged 23, died the 7th of March 2026. Amy Dougherty, aged 28, died 21st of March 2026. And finally, we have to remember all those who have been killed in the south of Ireland, which is number 35. Finally, I want to conclude with the following message. Everyone we remember here today once had dreams, once had laughter and love, but their voices were silenced too soon. Today, through us, they speak again. They speak through me, and they speak through you. Through our words, our actions, and our courage, they live on. We are now their voice, and their story continues through every one of us. The creation of a Jade's Law equivalent is a milestone, but it is not the destination. It is the first step on a long road towards justice, compassion, and protection for every child and family. Our work does not end here. It begins a newer day today. So let us carry this message beyond these walls of Derry. Let it echo in the classrooms, in homes, in parliaments and in hearts. Let it rise above indifference and be heard in every corner of our nation. A cry that says enough is enough. We will be the instruments of change, the guardians of hope, and the voice for those who cannot speak. And that together we can make a difference. Thank you.
I'm the brother of Valerie French. She was murdered by her husband in 2019 in County Mayo. Back in 2016, Clodagh Hall and her 3 boys were murdered by her husband. The sister, Jacqueline Connolly, went to the government of the time. They started a report into this whole area. In 2023, that report came out and it recommended suspending or looking at the guardianship of people who have committed this sort of crime and destroyed the family. And the interest of that recommendation was to protect the children. It's not about punishment of the perpetrator, it's about protecting the children that still exist. The recommendation in the 2023 report, we went forward with that. It's called Valerie's Law in the Republic. I was in the Dáil last Thursday, not yesterday, the week previous, and Valerie's Law was voted through to go to second stage, which is select committee. There's a hope that we would have it gone through the Dáil, gone through the Seanad and signed by the President at the end of this year and hopefully implemented. So effectively it's between England and Wales, Northern Ireland and the Republic, which can do this first to protect children from perpetrators. The numbers here in Northern Ireland are absolutely shocking. In the Republic, 284 women since 1996 as tracked by Women's Aid, and that doesn't count the suicides that come from domestic abuse. I mean, it has to be called what it is. It's men's violence against women and girls. Sure, there's cases on the other side, but I think you can just simply say it's men's violence against women and girls. I think that's why it's important to also hear men's voices on this incredibly important issue. Just to finish up, I think the most important thing is that this is a very much a cross-party issue. We had independents, we had people left, we had people right, everyone in the Dáil on behalf of their parties and none speaking in favour of moving Valerie's Law forwards, and it's fantastic to see the same here in Northern Ireland.
Just a man to me, you're all I am. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you're never coming home. Need to hear you say you've been waiting all night. Orange dancing in your eyes for more light. Voice only trembles when you try to speak. Take me back to us dancing this wood used to creep.